Here is the simplest way I can frame what is happening with AI right now. Think back to 1998. The internet had arrived. Most businesses knew it existed. Most business owners had heard they should probably get online, and a small number of early movers actually did something about it. They put up a website, they started collecting email addresses, they figured out how to reach customers through this new channel before anyone else in their industry. Those early movers got disproportionate returns. They were not tech companies, they were normal businesses, a law firm with a website, a consultancy with an email list, a local service provider who showed up on search results before their competitors. They did not transform into internet businesses. They just used the internet inside their existing business earlier than everyone else. This is exactly where we are with AI right now in 2026. Try to understand this. You do not need to become an AI business. You need to use AI in your business. There is a massive difference between this. The first misconception I see with consultants and service business owners is this belief that AI adoption means becoming a tech company. What they believe in is it means hiring developers, it means building custom softwares, it means completely reinventing how you deliver your services. That is not what this is. Using AI in your consulting business is the equivalent of having a website in 2002. It is table stakes that most of your competitors have not figured out yet. And the people who figure it out first will capture the majority of advantage. The second thing that makes this moment unusual is how accessible it is. When the internet arrived, you needed a developer to build you a website. You needed technical knowledge just to get a domain name. With AI, the barrier is significantly lower. The tools are conversational. You type what you want in plain English and the system responds. If you can write an email, you can use AI. The gap is not technical ability, the gap is knowing where to point it. The biggest mistake I see service business owners making right now is waiting, specifically waiting for someone else to figure out AI for them. They are waiting for a tech person on their team to propose something. They are waiting for a vendor to sell them an AI solution. That wait is the mistake, and here's why. If you're a consultant and you know your business better than any developer ever will, you know where time gets wasted, you know which tasks take 3 hours and should take 30 minutes, you also know the exact friction points in your client delivery process because you live inside them every single week. A tech person, no matter how talented, does not have the context. They will default to building things they have seen other people build, which is what I call commoditized automations, the generic surface level stuff that everyone ends up with and nobody gets real advantage from. The real advantage comes from something different. It comes from what I think of as cloud to dirt knowledge, the ability to understand the high level strategy of your business all the way down to the granular details of how a specific process actually works. When you combine that operational depth with even a basic understanding of what AI can do, you start seeing opportunities that no one else in your industry can see, because you are the only person who understands both the business problem and the tool well enough to connect them. Understand this. The true leverage does not come from AI expertise. It comes from your business acumen getting overlaid on top of AI capability. You already have the harder half of that equation. You do not need to become technical. You do not need to learn to code, but you do need to sit down with the tools, get your hands dirty and understand what is possible. Because once you do, your 15 years of business experience becomes the instruction manual that turns a generic AI tools into something genuinely powerful for your specific situation. Here's a very interesting theory, the John Henry trap. Here is something I see constantly. A consultant decides to test AI. They install a chatbot on their website, or they try an AI writing tool for the first time, or they set up an automated email sequence using AI generated copy. They give it a day, maybe a week. They compare the output to the process their team has been refining for the last 5 years, and they say, see, it is not as good. The human version is better. That comparison is rigged from the start. If you spent 5 years training a team member, building SOPs, refining scripts, developing client communication templates, and then you compare that to an AI you set up last Tuesday with no training data, no context, of course the human version wins. This is not a fair test. It is the equivalent of hiring a brand new employee, giving them zero onboarding, and then firing them on day two because they were not as good as your best performer. AI requires the same investment and setup, training and iteration that you would give any new team member. The difference is that once you invest that time, AI scales instantly and never forgets. The method is very straightforward. Take whatever process you want AI to handle, document it the same way you would for a new hire. For example, here is the context. Here is the goal. Here are the rules. Here are 5 examples of what good output looks like. Here are 3 examples of what bad output looks like. Feed all of that into AI, then let it run. Then review the output, then refine the instruction, then let it run again. Then put all of this into a feedback loop. Once you start getting the output that is near the human perfection level, then you give the feedback, then you again give the feedback, then you again give the feedback, unless you get the output that you really want and desire. That loop of feed, run, review, refine is the same loop you already use to train people. The only difference is that AI completes the loop faster, retains everything permanently, and can run 20 instances of itself in parallel once you have it dialed in and never make mistake. So every improvement you can make to a business falls into one of 4 categories. Your service either gets better, cheaper, faster, or lower risk for the client. That is it. Those are the only four levers that matters. AI is useful precisely because it can move all four at the same time. Let me walk through each one as it applies to a consulting or service business. The important thing here is that you do not need to advertise that you are using AI. Nobody does. Just like you do not advertise that you use the internet or which CRM you run or what Gmail client you prefer. Your clients care about outcomes. They care that the work is thorough, that the turnaround is fast, that the price is fair, and that the process feels reliable. How you achieve that is your business. AI is just a tool that makes all four of those things significantly easier to deliver at the same time. So, let's try to understand these 4 things. First, your business becomes better. Higher quality deliverables, more thorough research, deeper analysis per client. Your service becomes cheaper, lower cost to deliver, less manual admin time, fewer hours per engagement, faster, quicker turnaround, instant first draft, same day response, fewer missed steps, consistent quality control, nothing falls through the crack, which is called lower risk. So what it looks like in real life cases. These are the real use cases from consultants and service business owners who are already doing this. We have personally built all these systems for consultants and other service businesses all around the world. So take a screenshot and see how that changes completely these systems. For example, proposals and scopings that used to take 3 to 4 hours, done in 15 minutes. Client research and audit that used to take weeks, now done in a minute. Outreach and follow-up used to take your whole day, done in seconds. Before, client reports and deliverables used to take days to track, now done in minutes. Content and marketing used to take so much strategy, so much research, now done in minutes. Admin and operations used to take your entire week without moving a needle, now done in without you lifting a finger. Look at that list. None of it requires you to be technical. None of it requires you to write code. Every single use case is about taking a task you already do, documenting how it works, and letting AI handle the repetitive portion so you can focus on the part that actually requires your expertise and judgment. Imagine this. You are an HR consultant. Right now, you spend Monday mornings writing a summary of last week's client work, formatting it into a report, and emailing it out. That takes about 3 hours. With AI, you dictate a 5-minute voice note at the end of each day covering what happened, what decisions were made, and what comes next. On Monday morning, the AI has already compiled those notes into a formatted report in your brand template with the data pulled from your project tracker. You spend 20 minutes reviewing it, add one strategic recommendation, and send it. You just got 2.5 hours back every single week. Here is the part of this that has urgency to it. Right now, now in 2026, we are in a window of roughly 18 months where there is a disproportionate amount of advantage available to people who move early. After that window, AI adoption will be normal, it will be expected, it will be the baseline. The competitive advantage will be gone because everyone will be doing it. But right now, most of your competitors are still in the I should probably look into this phase. They are attending webinars, they are reading articles, they are having conversations about AI at networking events. They are not actually doing anything. Which means that if you start building today, if you start automating even one process in your business this week, you are already ahead of the majority of your market. This is not about being the first person in your industry to use AI. It is about being the first person your clients encounter who is using AI well. The first consultants who deliver a research package in 24 hours instead of a week. The first coach who follows up within 5 minutes instead of 3 days. The first advisors whose proposals are so well researched. This is what early adoption looks like in practice. It looks like speed, depth, and reliability that your competitors cannot match with the same tools. So, here is the method. It is deliberately simple because the biggest failure mode is trying to do too much at once. You do not need to automate your entire business. You need to automate one thing, one task, one process, but start to finish, beginning to end this weekend or whenever you are watching this video. Pick the task that annoys you most. Open your calendar from last week. Look at the blocks of time you spent on work that felt repetitive, manual, or administrative. The thing you keep thinking there has to be better ways to do this. That is your starting point. Not the most strategic task, not the most complex one, the one that drains your energy the most boring one. Second, document it like you are training a new hire. Write out every single step. What information do you start with? What decisions do you make along the way? What does the finished output look like? Include examples of good output and bad output. Wherever you would normally say, I just kind of know, or I use my gut feeling, stop and think about what patterns you are actually recognizing. Then write that pattern down. That is the instruction set for the AI. Feed it into the AI and run it. Take your documentation, paste it whatever AI tool you are using, GPT, Claude, Gemini, it does not matter. I use basically Claude, and ask it to do the task. The first output will not be perfect. That is normal. It is the equivalent of a new hire's first attempt. Review it, note what is wrong, and refine the instruction. Give the feedback. Iterate the same process 3 times. Run the task again with the refined instruction. Review the output again. Refine again. By the third iteration, you will have an AI that can handle that task 80% of your quality level in a fraction of the time. That is the threshold. You review the 20% that needs your judgment. AI handles the other 80%. Fifth, lock it in, then pick the next one. Once the first task is running smoothly, save your instruction as a reusable template, then go back to your calendar and pick the next task. Repeat the same process over 90 days. You will have 5 to 10 processes running on AI that compounds into hours of reclaimed time every week. A note on the gut feeling problem, because this is the problem I see everywhere whenever I'm having a consultation calls with other service business owners, and I ask them, can you tell me step by step what this actual process looks like? And in between there is a point they say, oh, it's basically intuition, it's basically my gut feeling. No. Every time you think about your workflow, wherever you want to put what you might call intuition or instinct or I just kind of know, I want you to think pattern recognition, because that is all it is. You have been exposed of thousands of client situations over the year, and your brain has journalized patterns from those experiences that you know apply automatically. The good news is that those patterns are describable. You can write them down, and once you write them down, AI can learn them. That takes all of the mysticism out of it and turns your expertise into a set of instructions that scale. Here is the simplest way to think about everything in this document. You use the internet. You do not call yourself an internet business. You use email. You do not advertise that you use email. You use a CRM, a calendar, a project management tool, a video call platform. You do not talk about any of them because your clients do not care about the tools. They care about the outcome. AI is the same. It is a tool. It makes your business better, cheaper, faster, and lower risk. You do not need to advertise it. You do not need to brand yourself as AI powered, AI backed, AI enabled, all that bullshit. You just need to use it quietly, consistently, and well. Your clients will notice the outcomes: faster turnarounds, deeper research, more thorough deliverables, fewer things falling through the cracks. They will not know why you are suddenly operating at a level of competitors cannot match. They will just know that you are. The businesses that win in 2026 and beyond will not be the ones that talk the most about AI. They will be the ones that use it the best, the earliest, and most consistently. That is the entire playbook. Just the decision to start, followed by the discipline to iterate. Now go build something this weekend.